welcome to this special program where we are rating the Prime Minister's speech from the ramparts of Red Fort, delivered on the occasion of 69 years of Indian independence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has delivered a 100-minute speech where he's spoken on a variety of issues, from the achievements of his government to trying to send out a firm message to Pakistan. But in that 100-minute speech, did the Prime Minister achieve what he set out to do? Was the speech a success or was it a failure? That's what we are going to assess as we rate the Prime Minister's speech on this special day. Happy Independence Day to each and every one of you out there. Let me first introduce my panelists, the guests who will be tasked with rating the Prime Minister's speech. Sudhanshu Trivedi, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is with us. Yogendra Yadav of the Swaraj Abhiyan, and someone who will perhaps represent an alternative viewpoint. KC Singh, former diplomat, is joining me. Nalini Singh, senior journalist, joining me, along with Vinod Sharma of the Hindustan Times. So we have two journalists, we have a diplomat, we have two politicians, and we have to give a differentiator, Reena Dhaka, designer, because remember, Mr. Modi takes a lot of care about the way he looks on screen, so we're going to assess that. And Prahlad Kakkar, ad guru, who will tell us whether Mr. Modi has marketed himself effectively in this speech or not. Which is why I want to start first with how the Prime Minister looked on 2016 Independence Day. As you can see, I'm in my saffron kurta, but you can't beat the Prime Minister when it comes to designing himself for the occasion. Take a look at how over the last 3 years, from 2014 to 2016, the Prime Minister has always tried to set standards when it comes to looking in Independence Day. Today he had a different safa to the ones that he had in 2014 and 2015. But clearly again, he was seeking to make a mark. I want to look clearly at the way he looked and the impact and the style of the Prime Minister when he spoke. That's the first thing that we are going to rate here right at the top. All our panelists have iPads where you can press a number. 0 is the lowest, 10, gentlemen and ladies, is the highest. Okay, let's look at the rating screen, and okay, let's take a look at that and then tell you how you can rate the Prime Minister. From 0 to 10, you can rate the Prime Minister now on the way he appeared on screen, how he looked, and how effective his style of delivery was. That's the first thing I want from you. Press the number that you have and let's see your ratings. Ready? Reena Dhaka, your first impressions though, before I give your exact rating, at the way the Prime Minister was dressed. He takes a lot of pains over his sartorial elegance. What is your response to the way he looked today?
I think what you said is exact. It's the pains he takes for getting his elegance. In addition, he takes a risk also when it comes to the safa, the choice of colors, the avant-garde, and then the fact that he's taken fuchsia, maroons, pinks, normally not a man's choice, and the billowing and the plumes, you know, kind of like a peacock. Yeah.
Well, he does have a designer of his own, Jade Taylor. Purely from a marketing point of view, is he very effective, you think, Prahlad Kakkar, in marketing himself?
You see, whenever he is elegant and understated, he comes across spectacularly. Whenever he is slightly over the top, even slightly over the top, then maybe people start questioning the fact that is he paying too much attention to his looks.
You know, I want to raise this. Compared to previous Prime Ministers, we would not even have raised this question. This is perhaps the first Prime Minister where we will even raise the question of his style. Not just the style of oratory, which you perhaps would have raised with an Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but with the style of the way the man looks. Is it important, you think, Nalini Singh, for Narendra Modi, where the style is also part of the message? That, you know, the way I look also gives the impression that I am a distinctive leader.
Rajdeep, you're saying it about yourself too. This is the age of television. This is the age of the visual media. And also,
my clothes are rented. I'm not sure the Prime Minister's kurta is.
but you know, let's be a little bit fair to him. After his 8 lakh rupees suit, let's say his clothes don't look terribly expensive to me, although Reena will correct me. But certainly there is a number of clothes, and he seems to do it with a little handkerchief or something. So I think today I would say energetic and attractive, and as I said on Aaj Tak, he's made sure that people, that men, Indian men over the age of 65 don't think they've gone down some hill and that they've still got it in them.
Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it, but let's put your ratings. Please put your ratings plus a number, and then we will see how the Prime Ministers look. I've started with looks and style just in a moment because that's the nature of the man. Prahlad Kaka, Reena Dhakar, the Congress guest is still not here, but let's look at the other 7 and take their ratings. Go ahead. Your ratings are, as we can now see on the screen, you've all pressed the number, you've all got your... Reena Dhakar, you need to press it again.
Oh.
Please make sure. What is your rating?
9.
9. She's rated it as a 9. So yours is a 9. Okay, therefore we now have all the ratings available to us. The Prime Minister style here on Independence Day as rated by our guests. Yogendra Yadav ji, your rating also?
I've done it.
Which is what? How much?
Which is 8.
Yogendra Yadav is an 8. Okay, everybody's ratings out there now. Yogendra Yadav 9, Reena Dhakar 9, Yogendra Yadav 8. What are the others rating? Let's take a look at the Prime Minister's style. How is it being rated on our screens? This then is the Prime Minister's rating when it comes to his style. As I said, the style is the man himself. So let's take a look one last time if we can get... Yeah, Mr. Shergill is not here. Mr. Shergill is not here as yet. If we can get the other ratings on the screen and then move on. Nalini Singh, your rating as well.
Have they got it now?
Okay, you've got yours as well. Let's take a look at the Prime Minister's rating on style. Okay, the style quotient of the Prime Minister is finally on, and this is how we are rating it at the moment. Most of them, Jaiveer Shergill of Congress is not here, but everyone else has rated, everyone has given it a relative high except Vinod Sharma, who probably is still old style and believes that his politicians must dress like old style politicians. Everyone has given it a high rating except for you. No, you've given it a 5.
Jaideep, Rajdeep, you can't speak for me, but let me explain this.
Yes.
You know, you see, there was, until one stage, India was largely comprising of people brought up on the legacy of a semi-nude saint called Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes.
So there was a natural revulsion for anything that was ostentatious.
Yes.
But with the opening up of the economy and the big push that consumerism got, people are now more comfortable, at least in the cities, with a degree of stylish, sartorial sense. But may I say one thing? That though television has taken the images to the farthest corners of India, the riches haven't gone to the farthest corner of India. So Prime Minister should understand that he is addressing a multiple audience. It is not just a relatively better off in the cities, it is also the dispossessed in the farthest corners of India. And he gets a relative sense of poverty by seeing a Prime Minister so stylishly dressed, because he had never seen his clothes himself, you know.
Okay.
So I think Prime Minister should be a little more sensitive to that idea.
Okay, I get your point. I take your point at the moment. That's the you want to quickly respond to that because I want to move on. Your quick response. He's made an interesting point that in a country where there is still a large number of people who live in conditions of near poverty, should the Prime Minister be seen as a well-dressed Prime Minister wearing possibly an expensive jacket or kurta?
The most significant thing in his attire was Pagdi. Pagdi represents whom? The rural India. Pagdi represents whom? The An Ban Shan of India. So in his attire and his style means his presentation with full of confidence, firmness and other things.
Right.
So in my opinion, if you want to connect to the rural India, you should look at his Pagdi. And it also represents the true spirit of Indianness, Swarajya mein Swa.
I will give it.
Can I add?
Yes, quickly.
Pagdi can also represent feudal India. And largely it is feudal India.
Just a minute.
I think dress sense is aspirational. As the Prime Minister of this country, every citizen in this country looks up to him as a statement to say, We are proud of what he is.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Jaivir Shergill of the Congress, please join us. The Congress has arrived also on the program. If you can sit there, and I would like you to press that button that you have in front of you and rate the Prime Minister when it comes. How many marks are you giving the Prime Minister on his style?
Don't fall into the gadda.
3.
You give the Prime, not surprising. The Congress is giving 3 to the Prime. 3. We'll come to the reasons. Jaivir Shergill gives a 3. So we've looked at the overall sense of the Prime Minister. If we look at the average is a high average. And one should not be surprised. Mr. Modi tends to score high when it comes to style. Okay, the total percentage. Modi's speechometer percentage when it comes to style. Take a look. These are the final points after the 3 given by the Congress. The total percentage is coming to as follows. Okay, give me the total percentage. 58 out of 80, 72.5. Mr. Modi does rather well when it has come to his style. But I want to now move to the substance. And the substance is starting with what has become the headline point, whether one likes it or not, of the PM's speech. His statements on Balochistan and the message that he had for Pakistan. Okay, Mr. Modi's strong words to Pakistan as well as on internal security in this country, warning people not to take arms within the country, but also sending a firm message to Pakistan on Balochistan. Let me then ask my panelists to quickly rate this. If they can rate the Prime Minister on how they saw him perform on the specific issue of Pakistan and foreign policy, and then I'll come to internal security and the issue of Kashmir. I know they are linked in a way, but let's look first at foreign policy and his message to Pakistan. Did Mr. Modi's message resonate or not? And if your machine is not working, give me the points you want to give. How many points do you want to give, Casey? Because your machine is not working.
I would say 6.
You want to give 6. Casey Singh is giving a 6 on foreign policy. Everyone else, your machines are working. Have you registered the yellow line coming on your machine?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's take a look on how Mr. Modi has performed on foreign policy. All have come. Let's take a look then. Mr. Modi on foreign policy today in his speech. And this is how he was rated today on his speech by our guests in the studio. Okay, the lowest is Yogendra Yadav with 4. Remember, he is, of course, of the Swaraj Abhiyan, an opposition party. Interestingly, Jaivir Shergill is giving him 7. So the Congress giving decent marks. Jaivir Shergill, 7 out of 10 for the Prime Minister. Narendra Modi will be pleased. I don't know whether your Congress party will be pleased that you're giving the Prime Minister 7 on 10 on what he said on Balochistan and Pakistan.
See, I think as far as his specific statement is concerned, factually and timing-wise, it was much needed. We needed to put a pressure on Pakistan. We needed to internationally expose Pakistan. PM has realized that he needs partners on side, with China getting aggressive with CPEC in that area. We need partners on side to push Pakistan to the corner. That is why I say it was opportune time. But there is a second aspect to it where I wanted to give low marks but ensure. I think PM should have, with same aggression, should have addressed a problem of Kashmir too. PM missed the opportunity to give a healing touch to the people of Kashmir, which they wanted to have.
I'll come to the healing touch in Kashmir in a moment, but Casey Singh, the Prime Minister on Balochistan has become the headline point. Did the Prime Minister overreach himself? Should he have only focused on Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan? By bringing in Balochistan, are you willy-nilly getting into a situation where Pakistan tomorrow will say, we will take on the Kashmir issue if you take on Balochistan?
Yes. It would have been better if he stuck only to Kashmir and areas of Kashmir occupied by Pakistan, including Gilgit-Baltistan, which traditionally India has not been talking about. Whereas Pakistan always reduces it to a very small portion, which they call Pakistan-occupied Kashmir around Muzaffarabad. But going to Balochistan, I think, opens a new front, which provides Pakistan now to go to the international community and say, look, we've been saying that India is aiding and abetting terror there. Now, even the Prime Minister is saying that. They arrested an ex-naval officer, and they're claiming that he was indulging in aiding and abetting terrorism in that area. So it starts a bilateral, opens a new bilateral front, which also gives Pakistan an opportunity to then start talking about Northeast, Maoists, other parts of India, and it just complicates the issue.
What I find surprising, Sudhanshu ji, is that just 8 months ago, we were doing jhappiyas and papiyas with Nawaz Sharif, and suddenly it's all gone wrong. I mean, this kabhi garam, kabhi naram with Pakistan. Where is the consistency? Today, from the ramparts of Red Fort, for the first time an Indian Prime Minister has raised the issue of Balochistan. where 8 months ago you go on a December 25th visit unexpectedly and do jhappiyas and papiyas with Nawaz Sharif. Kabhi garam, kabhi naram.
No, that was just a personal touchdown on his birthday and the family function which was having. But as far as the diplomatic bilateral dialogues are concerned with Pakistan, our government is consistent. There are only two official dialogues. One was in Ufa with both the Prime Minister. This was a written document available which was precisely on terror. The other was the two NSA meeting in Bangkok. All other things will remain on the line that talk and terror can't go together. It can only be talk on terror. So both the official dialogues were talk on terror.
Yogendra ji, you wanted to respond.
And in this Baluchistan issue,
yes,
he has also created an atmosphere that Pakistan is diplomatically, internationally isolated, except China. Nobody is in their side. Even UAE, Saudi Arabia. Now they are creating
that's
a problem.
The hope. That's the hope we have. That's the hope.
And one more thing.
That's
the entire premise of Pakistan in the Kashmir problem, which tried to bifurcate on the religious line, is also gets eroded when the Baluch leader supports India.
Yes, quickly.
One second. Incidentally, the last OIC meeting, Organization of Islamic Conference, same Saudi Arabia and UAE did not take exception to the normal resolution on Kashmir. So OIC they'll go and act one way when it comes to the Islamic Conference. It'll be another when they deal with India. So let's not raise our hopes there.
Yes, Yogendra.
I would have given Prime Minister higher marks if he had actually given a straight, plain message to Pakistan. Look, no meddling and no support for militant and terrorism. That's not what he does. Instead, he gives a naughty suggestion. I'm going to do something in Balochistan. That coming from the Prime Minister of India and from the Red Fort on the 15th of August doesn't augur well for India. Its long-term implications for Indian foreign policy are not very good. That's why I have been constrained to mark him low.
Quickly, yes.
You see, the Indian position as enunciated, as I see it in the speech of the Prime Minister, is tactical. It is not strategic. Yes. There is a leitmotif which joins Balochistan with Kashmir and northern areas, which is human rights. We did not want Pakistan to take a moral high ground on human rights. And I think raising Balochistan, raising Baltistan and Gilgit, raising POK, I have first-hand knowledge as to what is the state of human rights there.
No, but what's your point?
My point is that Pakistan...
Has he done the right thing or not?
He has done the right thing because tactically you have to counter them on the human rights issue. That their own track record is abysmal and they are trying to teach us lessons in Kashmir.
I take your point, but why is the consistency? 8 months ago you are doing jhappiyas and papiyas with the same leadership. Are you telling me Balochistan's problem only came today?
Please listen to me.
It has always existed.
No, please. You are wrongly linking the two. I am not endorsing that their policy on Pakistan is right. What I am saying is tactically, for the time being, to deny them the moral high ground, but they have to sort things out.
So you're saying it was the right, okay, it was the right tactical move. I need to take a break. I have a sponsor commitment. I will take a break and then come back. Before that, just to rate the Prime Minister, this is what our ratometer, as we are calling it, the speechometer of the Prime Minister says on foreign policy. By and large, you are finding strong support for the Prime Minister. Most ratings are 6 points and above that we've got. 55 out of 80 means 68.8%. That is the Prime Minister's position when it comes to foreign policy here on August 15. When we return, we'll look at internal security, but importantly, real issues, farm issues, jobs, the critical issues that many believe are not being focused upon adequately enough in the focus on Balochistan.